Really well today. All right, this market looks like it's going to absolutely pump today. Obviously, it's already gapping up. That's the tricky thing. We'll see if NVDA gets faded. Typically, when the largest company has a substantial gap up like this, it has a strong chance at getting faded. That being said, a fade down wouldn't be a bad scenario for NVIDIA because that could potentially set up a massive inverted head and shoulders. Right now, this gap up is kind of forcing the right shoulder on NVIDIA. And to be honest, if it came down and then pushed right back up, that would be a much better pattern to trade, in my opinion. So the big eyes will be on NVIDIA. We have a lot of movement. CrowdStrike pumping up here. That's lifting IGV, cybersecurity. CRM, a big mover in IGV, lifting the basket. That being said, not everything in IGV is running today, guys. We got quite a bit of weakness across the board in some individual names, but the whole market as a whole getting a nice pump. If we look at the semiconductors, this is this particular sector that I'm still focusing on the long side. I've been sitting in SOX L. Semiconductors right now do have an inverted head and shoulders formation that is triggering, guys. So this is statistically going to be a very bullish breakout. You can see the downsloping trend line connecting a few pivot highs here. This is a nice inverse head and shoulder that if we just quickly do a little bit of a calculation, it's about a 4.8% move to the upside, which takes us to about 537, 538 on the charts. Um, Granted, if we get back above that volume surge zone, I'm suspecting that SOX pushes right back at minimum to the high of this wedge pattern. And then we got to watch for this really fascinating, guys. I mean, look at this mother of all inverse head and shoulders. If you get a breakout on this, Qs are going to new all-time highs, guys. Market is remaining bullish. We do have softness in the US Dixie. The Dixie all of a sudden over the last hour just absolutely melted lower. So that's helping the market as a whole. That's giving gold a small boost. We'll see if Bitcoin can catch a small boost. We do have crude oil softening. Sorry, slightly higher today, but still just stuck in the wedge pattern. So the the interesting thing about the market right now is you have SOXX and crude oil pretty much forming massive inverse head and shoulders formations. So it's going to be an interesting to see which one triggers first, but basically if oil breaks out to the upside, that's obviously going to put some downward pressure on the tape, higher interest rates, lower bonds, higher dollar. But the inverse head and shoulders on crude oil is forming, hasn't broke out, and then the SOX inverse head and shoulders on the daily chart is also forming. Both patterns are pretty much trading at the same levels inside of their big wedge formation. So very, very interesting formations, in my opinion. All right, let's just see what else we got. You do have Wendy's also report gapping down this morning. Big gap down on Wendy's. But you got Okta, Salesforce, CrowdStrike, DG, Nutanix, NVIDIA all pushing. Palo Alto, Sentinel-1. HP, guys, HPQ. This is one that I thought was actually going to get a pop to the upside. I did swing some calls, which are going to get obliterated. But they're farther dated. I mean, I got until October timeframe to get back to 30 bucks, and we did get in the money quite nicely off of yesterday's pump. That being said, I did hedge it with some $28 puts for September, so the puts were a much closer strike date, so those are going to pay. So I'm looking at closing my $28 puts on HPQ, and then I might roll some of those profits over the coming maybe week or two back into higher upside calls. I still like HPQ even with this gap down. I think that there's still potential for this weekly inverse head and shoulders to play out. So again, I'll be looking to close my HPQ puts today, all of them. All right, guys, markets are open sesame here. Let's see what happens. 25th. Doesn't really make sense. Okay, so NVIDIA, keep your eye on NVIDIA. I'd highly suggest you keep a window open because NVIDIA is going to decide whether or not we see a hold of these gains. So far, the market is strong, but it's almost like a black hole of liquidity that is being sucked out of the tape today. It's taking 110% gain off of my HPQ puts, 110% gain. Guys, I did close those HPQ $28 puts. You can see it's already getting a nice reversal, and I still hold calls for October 16th. So what's really interesting about HPQ is we took a spread trade yesterday. Primary position was bullish. We jumped into the $30 October 16th calls when we hedged it with the $28 September 25th put. Um, so I just made over 110% on the puts, which covers my full call position. So basically now we are writing $30 calls for October for free. So again, for the next 2 months, we have basically a free call position on HPQ with the hedge that we took yesterday. All right, SPY seeing a little bit of sell side pressure and reversal. SOX still holding steady. NVIDIA going for that gap, guys. Almost at the top of that wedge formation on NVIDIA. You have to think with a report like this, NVIDIA is going to be probably trying to push for all-time highs, or at least today I suspect NVIDIA is going to take a move to this trend line. I would consider a short scalp at a pierce of this trend line on NVIDIA, guys. So keep that on watch. I am going to put an alert on that trend line. I would scalp short off of a pierce. Just a scalp. But they're going to try to squeeze these NVIDIA short. SPY still seeing a little bit of sell side pressure. What else do we have? All right, intraday, you got a lot of mags that are weak. Majority of mags are down. Nvidia's a freaking black hole right now of liquidity. Meta down 1, Amazon down 0.76, Microsoft down 0.65, Apple down 1, Google down 0.8, Nvidia up 7, Qs are up 0.7, SPY up 0.25. IWM is actually negative on the session. Really interesting. You got crude oil trying to make a small move to the top side here. Nvidia is seeing a little bit of sell side pressure. Intel crossing 91, trying to push a little bit higher here. What else we got? NVIDIA is still trying to hold steady there. SPY seeing a little bit of distribution to start the session. Wow. Oracle's green. What else we got? Rivian having a nice session. Nokia pushing. Moderna's weak. Guys, look at HPQ. I would highly suggest HPQ is still a strong momentum name. Obviously, it's tricky with earnings. Earnings, in my opinion, weren't that bad. But when we look across the board, HPQ has still got some strong momentum behind it on the larger time frames, daily, weekly time frames. That is getting a nice little dip by right now. Medium uptrend. Nvidia's seeing a pretty big fade here, guys. SOX are starting to come in. Crude oil perking up. Gold and silver have rolled over. IWM continuing to look weak. Qs are now coming in. Nice, Dave. What else we got going on here? Let's go to the high volume list. Marvell's up 1.69. TE, nice move. That's up 8.98%. SMCI up a few percentage points. CRM testing its earnings high at the highs. Damn, CRM just went bananas on us. Wow. All right, first support level for SOX here coming into this previous little pivot. Oops, I should lower that. My goodness gracious me, guys. Look at 5-9. Look at this beautiful daily chart. Bull flag, upper 25% of this consolidation. So the daily time frame is crazy. Weekly, you're still a crazy beast. Strong. 5-9, guys. NVDA is still holding some of its gains here. Quantum stocks are seeing a bit of a bid. Service now up 6%. IGV up 4.5%. Wow. Where is there a short on CRM? There's going to be a scalp here. Oh, we're piercing the weekly 200 moving average. There is some resistance that we're approaching right now on CRM, guys. I might look to fade CRM slightly for a quick scalp on the downside. Let's see. Guys, get ready on CRM here. I'm going to look to maybe take a bit of a fade. We are coming up into a little bit of a downsloping trend line here. You're piercing a weekly 200 moving average. 15%. I might do a scalp short once we pierce this vicinity. Come on, CRM. Get above 240 and I'd get interested in a small put play on CRM, guys. Market's still remaining pretty strong. Still got weakness in Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Tesla, SpaceX, Micron, Green, AMD struggling. That was an interesting conference call by Jensen last night. Basically, to sum things up, I mean, Jensen was basically attacking Lisa Su last night, not directly, indirectly, saying that we are going to be going after their TAM, their total addressable market. NVIDIA wants to eat everyone else's lunch. They're basically going to be trying to grow at a faster clip and take over a little bit of AMD's market share. And that's why you're seeing AMD struggling a little bit. It'll be interesting to see if AMD can shake off some of the sell side pressure. Likely will if SOX remains firm. But some of the numbers that NVIDIA and CEOs were touting last night was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. And I'd be nervous if I was Lisa Su. You better come out with some sort of a plan to stop NVIDIA. All right, guys, we're still seeing the markets acting very well. Rivian's making a nice move. Other software names are starting to firm up here. All right, guys, CRM is coming into that 240 handle, getting super interested. Wow, look at NVIDIA go too. Back to the highs. Very interested in CRM puts, guys, for a scalp, but I want to see it pierce this area. What are we looking at? 1 days, August 28th. Let's see. Well, this area is 235s. I'm gonna take 240 puts on CRM, but I want them under $4. I'm gonna take 240 puts for tomorrow on CRM, but I want them under $4. I'm still holding a ANF short, guys, from yesterday. That was a member trade that we banked just over 5% with. My average on the Abercrombie and Fitch is 152 on shares on the short side. Uh-oh, my dog's roaring at me, guys. Come on, CRM. Go a little bit higher, CRM. Go a little bit higher. Shit. Didn't get a fill on those, guys. I'm still just going to be patient with this tape. Market's still strong, guys. Majority, it's just a buy the dip day across many stocks. I'm just trying to short some extended ones here. Come on, CRM. Push a little bit higher for me. What else is shaking and moving today, guys? All right, CRM new high a day. Okay, we're at testing 370 here on the puts, guys. I am getting super interested on shorting a scalp here on CRM. She's just a beast. Piercing that trend line. I like it. I like it. Go, go, go. All right, guys, I'm in CRM puts. I am in CRM 240 puts, $2.87 fill. 287 fill, guys. Taking a 240 put play on CRM. Come on, CRM. Give us a little bit of a pullback. CRM still ripping like a beast. Socks, SPY pushing for the gap fill. Pre-market high still a bit higher. CRM up 18.67%. Crazy beast. What's IGV saying? IGV still pumping, squeezing the shorts. Sheesh. IGV breaking out of an inverse head and shoulders here, but also filling a big daily chart gap going back to June. Wow, what a beast. CRM is a beast. All right, SPY seeing a little bit of sell side. IGV busting through that high pivot reversal zone from June. So IGV, guys, is hitting a bit of double top resistance. Don't be surprised if you see a small bout of profit taking. Obviously, the pattern's strong. Don't get me wrong. It looks like we're going to head more upside over the coming weeks, but IGV double top. We'll see if we get a small profit taking or rejection candle off that double top zone. Already see it starting slightly. SOX still holding steady. NVIDIA up 7.2. You got other software names like Microsoft turning green, helping the cause, helping the software cause. ServiceNow up 7.6 and moving. Sheesh. Solar stocks are looking decent as well. HPQ making a nice comeback, guys. Remember, I'm still holding HPQ $30 October 16th calls. All right, CRM is starting to move in our favor. Come on, CRM. Give us a little bit more. Give us a little bit more. Come on. Back under 240, I'd look to trim half, raise stops to break even, guys. Come on. SOX, big rejection. Big fucking rejection. Damn. I'm also still holding my DIX shares from a couple trading sessions ago, guys. I'm down about 1.8% on the commons, but that one's okay. So DKS, I'm still long, holding shares. SOX SPY getting absolutely nailed here. Nailed. Dixie's starting to push a little bit higher here. DXY, US dollar. You can see the IGV double top acting as a nice little resistance level for the time being. A little liquidity sweep, stopping out some shorts. Starting to come in now. Nice. Come on, CRM. Take us in the money. Come on, get our 240s in the money. Come on, come on, come on. She's still super strong though. Crazy beast. QQQ, IWM trying to turn green. SOX starting to melt a little bit. Shit, you're getting a big move up in the US dollar right now. After that huge 30-minute down candle, it's retraced pretty much the majority of that last 30-minute sell candle, and it's actually turned slightly green right now. Interesting. Come on, CRM. Give me a dip back into 240. A lot of resistance up here. I'd be surprised if CRM tries to push any higher today. I think we have reached the upside for the session. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing CRM retrace the weekly 200. Look how the weekly 200 here has been a big level for CRM numerous times. So I'm hoping that we can pull back down to 236. But they're just trying to keep price fairly strong here. Wow, SOX getting hammered right back down. Nice buy side pressure, guys, on DIX, DKS breaking out here. Possible little inverted head and shoulders. Again, my average on DIX, guys, is sitting at, let me just pull it up here. 133.96. Almost at that green line. Trump considering new semiconductor tariffs? Ah, interesting. Thanks for the news there, Polly. Crude oil is still trying to push Amazon, Google, Apple struggling. Micron has turned red. Yikes. Oosh. Yeesh. Oh, CRM's a motherfucker. Thing is strong, man. IGV going for another high of day. Holy moly. This big bounce on SPY defending pre-market low. Got a lot of other software names that are starting to participate. MNDY, PLTR, Oracle. 5.9 is just a monster. Up 8% today, guys. FIVN. Beautiful. Beautiful. What else? Quantum still strong. ServiceNow pumping and jumping. Still just sitting in these CRM 240s, guys. We are green on the trade slightly, but I'm looking for it to make a move in the money. Come on, CRM. Push it. IGV is a beast. Look at IGV go, guys. PLTR making a really strong push. 5.9 still a beast. MNDY, this one's a mover, man. That thing moves quickly. Let's look at Oracle. That's still consolidating. App11 also trying to firm up a little bit off the lows here. This is another one, guys. Buy App11. Super depressed down here. If we're going through a bit of a software regime, you're starting to see a lot of the software names break out. App11's one that's pretty oversold down here. I think this drop down to 300 is a nice opportunity. That's your little free alpha for the day for those investors or swing traders. All right, come on, CRM. Push it down. So guys, for me, if we cross back over 240 to the downside on CRM, which would kind of correlate with us falling back underneath this daily chart trend line. But let me just clean this trend line up. But if we push below that trend line again into the 240, I will look to close half of my puts and keep a break-even stop loss, all right? Big bounce on socks. And look at HPQ, guys. So that was this is working out pretty much exactly what I set up in our member option group. Yesterday I was primarily bullish on HPQ, but I said, you know what? I think we're going to get a dip. So that's why we took the shorter dated puts, which we closed. This is starting to get a really big reversal. I still like the daily chart, especially if we close back up here. Fox software still pumping and jumping. Oh my God, look at CRM ripping to the top side, baby. She is a beast. She's a beast. Sheesh. Sox is still trying to hold that pivot. SPY trying to push over the gap, major gap. Here we go, guys. CRM starting to come in. Nice. Come on. Let's throw up a fib retrace. Remember that weekly 200 moving average on CRM, guys, is roughly about 236. So wouldn't be surprised to see if we see a move back into the 236 handle. Nice push down on CRM, guys. We're all going to get paid here if you're in puts. Come on, a little bit lower. Remember, we crossed 240. I will look to take some profits. Come on, CRM. Dip it down. Dip it down. Beautiful drop, guys. Beautiful drop. CRM working out. Come on. A little bit more, CRM. A little bit more. Oh, what do we got here? Still frickin' trying to defend price here. They are still trying to defend the price. Man, this CRM is stubborn. Stubborn. Sox is still trying to hold a key pivot low. Ooh. Good morning. Yes, good morning. You just long the NVIDIA plus CrowdStrike? Nice. Wow, look at Sox, guys. It's getting obliterated here. You got Micron rolling off of a cliff. You got AMD rolling off of a cliff. Intel was green. It's still green, but coming in pretty sharply. Here comes the market. Come on, CRM. Drop it like a rock. Drop it. SPY once again testing pre-market low. This market's now looking nasty on SPY. IWM still struggling. Qs are still up 0.5% with NVIDIA up 6.5%, but semis are starting to roll heavy. Fucking CRM, come on. Eesh. IGV, guys, is still holding, so you can clearly see IGV might be the new SOX. IGV is a beast right now, holding steady. SOX is getting absolutely liquidated while IGV is just holding its gains. Wow, that is crazy. I guess it looks like IGV wants to go for, there's a gap fill, high pivot sweep here. Shooting. It's fine with me. You know what's interesting, guys, is this pullback here on SOX is not bad. The reason I say that is you got one inverse head and shoulders that has triggered. That gives us upside to 538. But now this creates an even better inverse head and shoulders potential on SOX with a more distinguished right shoulder development here off of this hourly pullback. So now if SOX starts to settle around here and then curl back to the upside, you've got an even bigger upside inverse head and shoulders developing, which believe it or not breaks us out and sends us right to the 558 gap up there. So this pullback in stocks is healthy. And I remember discussing NVIDIA. I said, you know, and NVIDIA didn't do what I thought, but I said NVIDIA would be nice to actually see NVIDIA possibly pull back a little bit, dip, create a right shoulder, and then curl back up because NVIDIA also has a very large bullish formation that's probably sending it well above 250 over the coming weeks. It's looking pretty spicy. So that pullback in stocks is not a bad thing to see. CRM still flagging. IGV seeing a small pullback here off the 109 area. Still crazy strong. So maybe we see SOX. So SOX sold early while IGV pumped. Maybe we're just going to see a little bit of software profit taking, and maybe that's going to chase semis again. He's also trying to push higher, guys. It's now up 1.25%, just making a new intraday high. It's going to force the US dollar higher. Gold and silver are reacting somewhat negatively. IGV is seeing a little bit of a pullback here. So let's just actually pull up SOX, and we'll keep IGV on the left and SOX on the right. Those are pretty much the heartbeats of the market. So you can see as one's starting to perk up a little bit, the other is seeing a little bit of a dip. Guys, IWM is just getting hammered down here. IWM is looking real nasty. Oof. There is a bit of a bearish wedge formation on the Russell 2000, guys. Take a look at this. IWM, whoops, small caps are about to get liquidated. That's a nasty chart pattern intraday. And take a look at this bearish wedge formation, guys. We are about to break down here. I mean, if this wedge pattern breaks, that is extremely bearish. That's real nasty. That's a nice bear flag forming on the Russell, guys. It's a healthy amount of consolidation. We're looking at a move back down to the 292 handle. If that breaks. It's a big if right now. It's a big if. That Russell's getting slapped. Sheesh. CRM is still pumping and jumping. Jeepers. Still squeezing. Still squeezing. NVDA taking money from IWM? Yeah. MSTR and IBIT? What about them? Let's take a peek. Yeah, they're running here. Breaking. Squeezing. Yep, crypto squeezing. Bitcoin, I'm still interested in a possible short on Bitcoin, but not yet. I mean, it came up there last night. They're not giving us these intraday moves where we can take these options. Like that wick into that 81 area happened overnight when the market was closed. I hate that because it doesn't allow us to get any options trades. I mean, you can trade your crypto portfolio. But that's about it. That's the only way you're going to get exposure to shorting crypto when he makes these overnight moves. But I was really hoping that we would see something like that intraday. I mean, today it hit 80K, but again, it was this morning at 5:30. Like options aren't even trading. So I'm still interested in a possible scalp short on BTC, but now I'm still looking at this high pivot 82K and change. So we'll see what happens there. All right, CRM is stubborn as ever up here. IGV still holding. SOX now getting a bid. The Russell 2000 is getting liquidated while Qs are trying to push a little bit higher here. Nice push back up on SOX. Stock's getting another buy-side program. I wonder, let's look at the semiconductor list. So ABGO is having a nice day. That's up 3%. Okta, holy, 22.5%. Beast. That's more software though. ARM, nice job on ARM, Sarf. That's a good. Geez, CRM is squeezing me out here. What the fuck is going on here? CRM is kicking my butt now. Cheapers, creepers, come on. No pullback yet in these names. New low day for the IWM. New low day. Oof, IWM's getting hammered down. We're starting to see a little bit of sell side pressure hitting additional semis. Marvell's negative, AMAT's negative, ASML's gone negative, LRCX, Qualcomm, Skyworks, Micron, AMD, all starting to give back some of the gains here. Oh, natural gas inventories in about 23 minutes, and natural gas is up 2.3%, acting very well. IGV still holding. Google, Apple struggling. Amazon struggling. Financials under pressure. Netflix under pressure. Nice session for PanW as well. Palo Alto. So cybersecurity continues to remain a hot trending sector with software. Arguably stronger than software. Datadog, that's also having a nice session, up 9.3%. Still sitting in the CRM 240s, but it's kicking my butt for now. Crude oil guys making a move to the top side. This is what's gonna stall the market here. Look at crude trying to break out again. It's running. She's running. Here comes the inverse head and shoulders attempt at a breakout on crude, guys. This looks really, really nice. Cup and handle formation, WTI. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. How's XLE doing today? XLE is still negative. Weekly pattern, nice pullback. Where is our daily 7 and 20? sitting at? All right, so we're underneath the 7, back testing possibly the 20. Huh. I wonder if I should buy that pullback. I wonder if we should buy the dip in energy yet. Hmm. Fuck, these softwares are crazy strong, man. Not giving up any of their gains just yet on software. IGV still pumping and jumping. IWM seeing a little bit of a bounce. SPY still holding strength. Trying to get back above that gap fill. That Russell 2000, guys, possible bear flag on the hour chart, head and shoulders on the 15-minute chart. Russell 2000 looks like it could go down today to 297 and change. IWM is looking filthy again. CRM is still a monster up here. Holy moly, man. No pullbacks yet. No pullbacks yet in software land. SOX is still trying to push. QQQ up over 1%. Still looking strong. Small softening in software here. IGV still well above that high pivot from June, acting extremely well. Crude oil softening up a little bit. That should be helpful for the market. IGV still printing higher. NVDA still up 7.6, Google down 0.47, Apple up 1.1, Microsoft up 1.7. That's one of the reasons that IGV is also pumped much higher. Microsoft was down and made a really strong bullish reversal. So you got a lot of strength. Palantir, Oracle, green. ServiceNow, GoDaddy, CRM still pumping. IGV up 6.68%. What a beast. Crazy. IWM still struggling around this 298.50 area, down slightly on the session. Seeing CrowdStrike, PanW, all these names are rippers. Absolutely rippers. What else do we have going on? Okta, Viva still pushing. CrowdStrike still a beast. Dollar Tree, Best Buy, HP, Wendy's, Celsius struggling, Kohl's. A lot of the consumer discretionary are struggling today. It's on the Russell, guys. IWM starting to push back up. Fucking getting crushed on my puts here on CRM. Come on, CRM. Guys, I have a really bad storm blowing in here. It's raining cats and dogs, so hopefully my connection stays a-okay. Wish you could get some rain here. Yeah. Solar stocks are still looking pretty good, guys. SEDG, First Solar, up a couple percentage point today. They're still looking good. Small pullback in IGV starting. Come on, CRM. Should have taken my small gains as up. Still crazy extended up here, but big bounce on the Russell. Russell 2000 trying to go back to the positive side. Starting to see these nuclear stocks firming up quite nice. You see what these nuclear stocks are crazy. So yesterday uranium was up 3-4% intraday. And those nuclear stocks, SMRO closed entities you use, all got absolutely wrecked, faded. Uranium today up 0.3%, and all of these nuclear stocks are pushing. Crazy. Come on, CRM, pull back here. Fucking squeeze my ass. Yeah, storm in Asia this month. That was pretty crazy. That monsoon in Nepal. Those videos last night were nuts. It's pretty sad. You have no warnings, flash floods, boom, hits monsoon. One of my tenants is from Nepal and he's got family there. Yeah, the market's crazy bullish. Market is bullish. I mean, SOX is broken out. IGV printing higher highs. We're bullish. Absolutely bullish. For now. NVDA gonna take out all-time highs in probably a couple weeks, maybe sooner. But that earnings report from NVIDIA was a little bit different. That conference call was a little bit different than usual. I was able to listen to the whole thing with Jensen and yeah, no, it sounds like NVIDIA is going to try to eat everyone's lunch. That's what I got from it. Specifically AMD's lunch. And a little bit of Micron. They're going to try to take a lot more of the TAM from everyone else. Holy shit, CRM is just killing my ass. Fuck. Big thunderstorm, big thunder. So the crazy thing, guys, today we still have a few earnings after hours. We got IREN, we got Marvell, that'll be an interesting one. We got Rubrik, Affirm, AFRM. A lot of people have been bullish AFRM. There's some chatter. They got some possibly setting up a very big technical formation here. This Affirm pattern, guys. Look how massive this inverse head and shoulders is on Affirm. I mean, it's huge. Absolutely huge. It's crazy, whichever way you draw the necklines. It is massive, you know. Buy now, pay later. Still waiting on CRM. It's just murdered my puts, man. Come on. Iron after hours. I feel like they're gonna take Iron down. But if they gap it down, it would be a nice accumulation zone. What else do we have? We have Marvell after hours. Marvell's had a nice move, holding daily chart structure back above all the key daily chart moving averages. It's stronger than most semis, stronger than Micron, stronger than AMD, Intel right now. We also have RBRK after hours, Rubrik. That's also looking crazy strong. Workday. I like Workday, but the software trade is gone because bananas. I thought Sentinel 1 was today. Oh, I guess Sentinel 1's after hours. Alta, Autodesk, I see Gap. Okay. Let's look at this gold market. Gold still seeing a little bit of sell side pressure. Nice push up on Intel, guys. It's still looking strong. INTC. I remain bullish Intel, guys. INTC. I remain long and strong shares and options, guys. So Intel's looking pretty decent down here still. Let's erase some of these trend lines. Look at this nice little liquidity sweep down here on Intel, guys. Breaking that key trend line, getting everyone bared up, and now it's trying to push again. Let's look at financials here. Financials are losing structure here. All right, we're starting to see CRM coming in slightly, still just sitting in these 240s, but still down on the trade. Fucking kicked my ass. SOX, big push. So you're starting to see this tug of war, push and pull between IGV and SOX again. As one goes up, the other goes down. As SOX is going up, IGV is seeing a little bit of profit taking. QQQ still net seeing buy side pressure. SPY at the highs of the session. All right, nice little decline starting to hit CRM. Come on, CRM. Take me back to profits. You absolutely squeezed my ass. Take us back to 240. Yeah, despite making money on SoFi, SoFi's been pretty disappointing in my eyes. You know, we had that bullish thesis, and it is trying here. I mean, the chart pattern is there. It's trying to break out of this critical low, but it just keeps on getting hammered off of this $19, $20 area. Um, yeah, just sitting there. I mean, I'd be a buyer if we dipped back into the 50-day, call it like 17, 18 Pierce. But what wrecked the SoFi trade, in my opinion, was the SoFi was supposed to be included into the S&P 500. It was a big fan favorite. And then the semiconductors went on their massive parabolic run, and it just pushed the valuation so high so quickly. And you had Marvell come into the picture and take that S&P 500 inclusion. And then you had SpaceX come, and that wiped away its chances. So SoFi, I mean, it really doesn't have that S&P 500 inclusion anymore. I think eventually it will, but we just gotta wait. But it is trying to break here. It's still in a heavy downtrend technically, but I'd buy it on dips. I mean, I'm not trading it up here. Whoops. All right, come on, CRM, come on down. All right, IGB seeing a small pullback here. But you know what I like better than SoFi, guys, is you all know, I mean, how I'm positioned, but Rivian, I still like Rivian. Obviously, we've already trimmed this position and taken profits, but I still think Rivian's heading to 19 to 20 bucks by year end. So, um, I'm very bullish Rivian. I like it a lot. It's aggressive. It's a risky company because they're still burning some cash, but I like I like it like that. Do 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 do. All right, intraday market update. Stocks up 1.53%, still looking strong. You got IWM basically flat to negative. SPY up 0.42%, QQQ up 0.97%, NVDA still up 7.5%. Google struggling today, down 0.7. Apple down 0.83. Microsoft has had a really strong bullish reversal with IGV up 1.5%. Amazon Meta negative. Tesla up 1.95. SpaceX just slightly green. Micron, AMD are down, and Intel, guys, INTC, playing some catch up to Nvidia. Pump it up, baby, pump it up. First little daily chart resistance level here on Intel, backtesting a previous trendline break, as well as a little EMA 113. Um, Intel today, if semis hold strength, could push up to about 95 bucks. 94, 91 is that weekly 7 moving average. Um, Look at Intel go. YS is asking why Rivian if Tesla's a better company. Well, they're two totally different companies. Both have their strengths and weaknesses. I just think for a valuation upside basis, Rivian can run a little bit more, and it's cheaper stock. It's a cheaper stock in that sense. It's easier to play on the option chain. You have to risk a little less capital to play Rivian. Contracts are fairly cheap. Um, there's a few other fundamental reasons. I did a really big deep dive for members into Rivian. Made a little fundamental video. So yeah, there's a few reasons. SPY still holding that major gap. Crude oil softening again. SPY still trying to push slightly higher here. Software is still holding. Wow, you know what ticker's trying to make a comeback, guys? This one's been dead money for so long. Webull. Webull is trying to make a comeback here. Man, this has been dead money in my account for a little too long. For too long. I don't even want to start looking at it because that's when it'll probably start going down. A Webull trying to make a comeback. NVIDIA still holding up, steady. Well, Rivian's got some interesting developments. YS asking why Rivian when the car world makes Tesla even lose money. Well, Rivian's got some interesting pipeline developments coming up. Tesla, for a number of years, pulled away from everybody in terms of technology advancements development, and they're still obviously have their own IP and strengths, and but Rivian's closing the gap. I mean, they're set to release their own FSD technology with a potential subscription service that is about half the cost of FSD, so that makes it generally a more feasible subscription for someone. That's one thing. They got a few other advancements in the pipeline. I don't want to go into too much of the fundamentals, but just the valuation. I think it is going to close the gap a little bit more in terms of valuation and have a bigger run to the upside. Seeing a lot of institutions starting to accumulate under the hood. I think their R2 release is going to be a good product launch for them that can potentially rival some of Tesla's midsize sedans. but it's a risky company for sure. Does carry some risk. Opportunity risk. All right, small pullback in software, IGV, and SOX. SPY still holding 769.50. Fuck, CRM just murdered me on the short side here. Damn, barely. We haven't even had a pullback. Fucking snakes. MSTR still holding up 9.9%. Ooh, Bitcoin back above 80K, guys. BTC back above 80K. Very cool. So that 85.37 was my first short level, but we've already rejected off that area once. That's that high pivot. You might get an intraday scalp opportunity here on Bitcoin off that 85 sweep of this high pivot. Very cool. I'm gonna keep that one on watch. Maybe BTC is trying to give us another inverse head and shoulders formation. Let's see where this takes us. Another 3-4% move to the upside. So yeah, BTC, if we break out of this inverse, we're looking at 83K, guys, 83.4-ish. That's crazy. SOX starting to see a little bit of additional sell side pressure. IGV starting to see a little bit of a pullback. CRM is finally seeing a small dip here, but market is still acting a-okay. SPY still trying to trend to the upside. HPQ losing a little bit of momentum here, guys. Pulling back slightly. IWM also seeing a little bit of selling. SPY still holding that gap fill. Micron AMD struggling. Amazon Meta struggling. Apple Google still struggling. Microsoft, Tesla, SpaceX, Intel still holding green. NVDA still up 7%, holding steady. SPY new high a day, ripping to the top side. Stock still looks like it wants to go higher. Remember, we got one inverse head and shoulders that has triggered, and we got another larger one forming. Both gives us higher upside targets. Look at SPY ripping here, guys. She's a beast. But guys, so SPY is hitting a really big level here. Let me just we're hitting a 770 call wall here, guys. Looking at the SPY volume, guys, we have a big call wall here at 770, so I would imagine that there's going to be some resistance, but if we start getting some 10-15 minute candle closes above this big call wall, the 770, SPY could have an epic trend day and squeeze. Right now we are holding above. We got one 10-minute candle close. This next 10-minute candle is very important. But if SPY starts consolidating above 770, that big call wall, we have 235,000 contract zero sitting there. I mean, we could squeeze hard here. Let's look at it for tomorrow, August 28th. Yeah, so today and tomorrow, 770 is the big call wall. Quite a bit of volume coming into the 775s for tomorrow. And 768's a little bit of volume there. Interesting. So big spot here for SPY. 770 call wall being tested. You can see there's a little bit of sell side rejection there. Oracle's actually rolled over. Interesting. Look at Oracle, guys. ORCL has gapped and cracked this morning despite IGV holding steady. Let's look at crowd. PNW. Crude oil rolling here, pretty heavy, guys. Another sell side candle. Look at the Russell here. IWM pushing right back up. Interesting. Guys, NVDA looking like it wants a new high a day. Still squeezing. Still seeing a pretty decent rejection. Bitcoin still looking strong. NVIDIA still looking strong. Software still holding steady. Gosh. So softening up here, that's helpful for SPY. NVIDIA new high a day, busting through 226. Your guys, SPY is looking like it's trying to breach that 770 call wall. Things could get squeezy. Like I said, we got a 770 call wall here on SPY. Consolidation above it is very bullish. Good short core weave. Let's take a peek at core weave. I haven't actually looked at CRWD in a while. Oh yeah, that's coming in pretty hard here. Underneath the daily 7, losing the 20. Hmm. here. Nothing wrong with the market. Still remaining bullish. SOX, IGV, SPY all still strong. I would say that if you get a pullback in SPY, this gap fill back test, if we get it, could be bought. SPY does look like it's going to keep trending and squeezing, and accumulation and dips are still being bought up here today. So very tough tape to be short. NVIDIA is hitting a little bit of resistance here at 225, but nothing wrong with it. We'll see if crude oil wants to revisit its highs, getting a little bit of a bounce now. Obviously, a few names that are just extended intraday. A lot of software names are slightly overbought, but doesn't mean they're going to pull back